So let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View. And for most people that listen to me, I'm not going to say follow. I like listeners. I'm not into followers because I'm not I'm not an influencer. I'm none of that. I am just I consider myself an observer of the world, an observer of, different spiritual and behavioral patterns which are intertwined with spirituality. I observe, I watch, and I look at people's behavioral patterns and I make an assessment of that particular individual's um, spiritual health based upon that. And that can also tie into mental health sometimes as well. So that's what I do. Remember, I told you all the other day that words have occultism in it. Words, if you're able to really decode spiritually, if you're able to really decode spiritually, you can see people's true intentions through their words, no matter how they try to mask it. No matter how they try to use neurolinguistics, which is a masking type of technique that gets you to go with the flow, that gets you to believe something that may not be in your best interest. A lot of politicians use neurolinguistics. A lot of agents use neurolinguistics. A lot of police officers use neurolinguistics. A lot of speakers use neurolinguistics. And they use that to manipulate the people that are in front of them or the people that they are addressing. So here's what I want to talk about. Like I said, I'm an observer. And I go to different places online, different forums, different social media apps. I go to different ones online just to observe. I'm not really looking for anyone. I'm not looking for any, real no friends or no shit like that because, I'm a self-sufficient person. Always have been. Nothing wrong with having friends, but I'm not really the most friendliest person in the world. And because I'm so self-sufficient and because I walk alone, I think that sometimes rubs people the wrong way, which I don't really give a fuck, but I think it does. So I go to a lot of social media websites for experimentation purposes only. And this one particular website that I frequent, I have an account on there. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I have an account on there. And it's a dating app. Really not looking for anyone, but you have to put something on there. So I'll say something like, I'm looking for hookups. You know what I mean? And look, if it happens to be a fine guy that want to do some things, okay, I might consider it. I ain't gonna lie. But my main objective is to observe and to see what the energy is like, you know? And yes, I did say that even though I have a whole man living here with me, I'm a different type of occultist. And I'm a gay man. So my mind is not going to be like, other people's. Yes, I did say I would hook up with somebody while I got a man living with me. Yes, I did say that. And I fucking mean it. I'm a different type of occultist. If I'm not getting what I need from somebody, I will go somewhere else and get it. I am not wasting my time begging and pleading nobody. Not saying that I'm doing that, but I'm just making a point. You know, have a man that gives you money, and you can have one to give you honey, and keep it like that, child. Okay, that's how I move. That's the type of occultist that I am. That's what I do. I'm all about self and self preservation. Self-preservation. I'm all about self-preservation. I'm all about that. So that's what I do. But anyway, this one particular site that I'm on, I've been on it on and off for the past couple of years. Let's just say that. And I've noticed how people have changed on this one particular, let's just say, app. And now it is more difficult for people to even communicate with people because now they've taken away a lot of the free features. And if you all can figure out where I'm talking about, then you just do. But I'm not saying it because it's not the point, because it's a social experiment, is what I'm participating in. So, this one person, I want to talk about this one person that's on this website. And this is where wisdom comes in. He's a white guy, he's homophobic, he doesn't like black people, he's anti government. He claims to have worked in the medical field as a nurse at one time. He lives in the deep, deep parts of Maryland. And on his profile, he's always talking about transgender people in particular. He's talking about gender dysmorphic disorder, I believe, and he's connecting that with transgender people. I'm not here to debate that or not. That's not the point of my video. But what disturbs me about him is not his views on black people and trans people and gay people. That's not what disturbs me, because people have a right to say what they want to say. People have a right to be however they want to be, right? So evidently he's in a beef, not with me, but with another black man on the website who must be a transgender person who happens to be black. And this white guy on his profile is really talking about how this black person has gender dysmorphic disorder, how this black person has been stalking him and harassing him on the website for a few months and all this other stuff, even though he opens himself up for that type of harassment with inflammatory comments on his profile. What really disturbs me about him is this. He keeps talking about protecting children from grooming by what's happening in the school system with them allowing, I guess, trans people to work in the school system or gay people to work in the school system. Well, here's the thing about that. Gay people have been working in the school system for a very long time. One of my music teachers, he was gay as well. He was gay as well. So gay people have been working in the school system for a long time, and it's really been no problem. Then he talks about government corruption. He talks about the COVID vax. He talks about all of that on his profile, on a dating profile. On a dating profile where he is supposed to be looking for women. He only has one paragraph talking about looking for women, saying that he's a single dad, divorced. I see why he's divorced now. A single dad who is divorced, but everything else on his profile is an entire dissertation attacking black men, black women, gay people, and trans people. And then the biggest problem is he's bringing children into this. He's bringing children into this. First of all, there is nobody on that website The people on that website are not interested in hearing about your children. There are no children on that website. There may be young adults like 19 and 20 or even 18, but they're adults by law. So why is this man bringing his children into something that children should not, their energy should not even be intertwined in that any period? If you don't like certain things going on in the school system, I understand that, because some things I do agree with. If he doesn't want certain energies around his children, no problem with that. I don't want to be around your kids, no way. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to put myself in it, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just simply making a point. Why are you intertwining your children into something that has nothing to do with them? That's the same thing with these weirdos online on YouTube who keeps intertwining other people's children into YouTube beefs that have nothing to do with their children. That has nothing to do with children. I smell pedophilia, if you ask me. This is where I'm going with it. So he has all of these, he acts as if he's so moral. He's against government corruption, but you're part of the government corruption. You're part of the government corruption because the government grooms children just like he is covertly trying to groom children. See, here's what he's really saying. And let me tell you again, the power of words. The power of words and the occultism of words. Not really the power, but the occultism of words. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked. On his profile, he keeps talking about protecting children from the LGBT community. Okay, all right. But everything that I read in his energy, the person that children need to be protected from is him. And then he brought up some guy's race, some black guy that's harassing him online, that I'm assuming is a transgender person, but he's referring to him as a black man with gender dysmorphia syndrome or whatever, right? Why are you bringing up his race? And then you brought up the Bud Light controversy. This man is a sociopath. He's a psychopath. And if I were that child's mother, he would have to have supervised visits. Now, he wants to bring race into it, right? He's a homophobe, and I don't use that word lightly. He's a homophobe. He's a racist. And he is a socially and sexually inept white man who is mad because people have surpassed him. People can create whatever personality they want online. You can be a millionaire, you can be a billionaire, but nothing in that person's life reflects that. So he keeps talking about people grooming children when the only person that seems to be grooming and exposing and violating children is him. Let me tell you what his profile is really saying. What he's really saying is that he does not want the government to know or to interfere with his pedophilia. That's what he's really saying in that entire dissertation. He feels inadequate to black men and black women. He feels rejected by black men and black women. And then, of course, these types of people are never attractive. He looks like he's had a stroke on one side of his face. He's only 47 years old, but he looks like he's pushing 57 or 60, like a lot of old looking people like him. But he's so worried about gay people grooming his children, but there are no gay people around your children. There are no gay people around your children. There are no trans people around your children. There's nobody around you, period. So I don't understand, but then again, I do understand because this is how covert pedophilia works and moves. They are always these advocates for children. People like him. I'm talking about people like this. And I'm talking about these creepy types of white men or men in general, but he happens to be a white man. They're always these outlandish conspiracy theorists. They're always these outlandish, paranoid, schizophrenic types of people. They're always talking about how they are so honorable and how everyone else is so dishonorable and immoral, and how they're trying to protect their children when all along you are the monster that the children needs to be protected from. It also tells me that this man does not spend a lot of time with his daughter. He does not spend a lot of time with his daughter because his daughter, this website takes precedence over spending time with his daughter. He's too busy arguing with some phantom black trans person that takes precedence over him spending time with his daughter. Let me just say allegedly. You're trying to protect your daughter from something that's really non-existent. But the person she really needs to be protected from is you. You're the one that's grooming her. Why are you bringing your child on an adult dating website? Why are you involving your child's energy on an adult dating website? Because what that says to me is that you're trying to traffic your own daughter. That is what that says to me. You're trying to covertly traffic your own daughter. Is that the real goal? Is that your real objective? And you want to use gay people and trans people as a scapegoat for what you're really doing. See, a lot of times these pedophiles, especially these men, I'm talking about men pedophiles, they will use an aversion to homosexuality as their scapegoat to get closer to people's children. They will act as if they're the most wonderful man in the world, all so they can get to your little boys and your little girls. Let's be motherfucking honest. They will use homosexuality and their aversion and dislike for it so they can get close to your children, because they know that a lot of people don't condone homosexuality, and I don't have an issue with you not condoning it. But what the fuck you're not going to do is try to use homosexuality or gay people or trans people to promote your pedophilic agenda. You're not going to do that. A lot of racist white men, you do know that a lot of racist white men are pedophiles. A lot of racists in general are pedophiles, and they do the most depraved types of shit. And they are released into the public to do whatever they want to do. If I were that child's mother, I would look at his profile on this dating site, and I would take action to keep my child away from this sociopathic man. He's a sociopath, he's a psychopath, and he's a fucking weirdo. He's a fucking weirdo. He talks about the government being corrupt when he's corrupt on every molecular level of his existence. He's a corrupt person, not because he doesn't like black people, not because he doesn't like gay people, not because he doesn't like trans people, but it's because of the fact that he's involving his child's energy into this. He's involving his child's energy into something on a dating app. Now, if he was making YouTube videos talking about stuff like that, that would be different. If he was on TikTok giving his point of view, even if I didn't like it, that would be different. But why are you on a dating app where there are all types of perverts, all types of traffickers and groomers such as him, like him, which is my belief? Because I'm sure if we pulled a couple of skeletons out of his closet, I'm sure we would really get to see who he really is. And this person claims he was in the medical field as a male nurse. He's making all types of outlandish claims about the government and about the COVID vaccine and all of these things that he cannot substantiate. And I don't support no motherfucking vaccines. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not for the vaccine. I don't give a fuck about that shit. He's talking about if you think voting is going to save you, you're crazy and you're already lost. I mean, the point that I'm making is this. None of that shit is relevant. Whether I agree with his statements on voting and the code, that's not relevant. The point that I'm making is this. Why are you bringing this to a dating site? Why is this on your profile? You're supposed to be looking for a woman. You claim to be heterosexual. Why are you talking about the government? Why are you talking about children? Why are you talking about the grooming of children by the government and in the school system on a dating site? If he was on YouTube making a video, that would be different. But why are you doing that on a dating site? Is it because that's some type of code for you and other pedophiles? Is that the new code? Pretend like you're anti, but you really are not anti-pedophile? Is that the code? Because that's what I think it is. Is that the new code for you motherfuckers? Let's say how much we hate black people, and let's say how much we hate gay people. Let's say how much we hate all of these types of different people. Let's talk about how they're grooming children in the school system. Why? So people can feel safe around you. So people can have their children feel safe and comfortable around you. So you can groom them. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? See, I see the games that you motherfuckers play. And see, this is why I say occultism, you have to really understand occultism in words because there are codes in words and people play a lot of games. He looks like an old fucking pedophile. He looks like one. And the only reason I won't even post his picture up here because I ain't trying to get sued. He looks like a pedophile. He looks like a woman beater. He looks like a fucking weirdo. He talks like a fucking weirdo. This man is 47 years old, allegedly, acting like this. Is his frontal lobe underdeveloped? Because it sounds like it. Is his frontal lobe underdeveloped? Because a lot of people with underdeveloped frontal lobes, they act just like this. They act just like this. It's not about his aversion to gay people or homosexuality. I don't care anything about that. I don't care about him talking about government conspiracies, okay? I don't care anything about that. But why are you doing it on a dating site? And why are you bringing children into this? See, that's what I'm looking at. Because to me, that is code. See, pedophiles, a lot of them, they go by a code. They will pretend to be the most upstanding moral citizens. They turn their nose down at adults. We are consenting adults. Those of us who are normal, wanting sexual relationships with other adults. We're normal. But they turn their nose down at consenting adults. Oh, that's disgusting what they're doing. Oh, that's nasty that she let that man do that to her. They're consenting adults. They have an aversion. What they really have an aversion to is adults being with each other because these people desire being with children. And I don't even like talking about shit like this, but I felt like it was necessary to put this out into the universe because I'm an observer. They have an aversion to adults enjoying each other, whether it be two men, two women, a heterosexual couple. They don't like that. That is why they work so hard to shame people for their sexual escapades. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do with adults. I can be as freaky as I want to be with adults because I'm attracted to adults. I can be much as a freak with other grown men as I want to be. Why is that any of your business? And why are you including children into that? Nobody's grooming children but you. Because that's always the general consensus, the children. Most of us as gay people don't want to be around your children. Most normal gay people, not saying we don't like children or we mistreat them, that's not what I'm saying. But we keep our business separate. When I used to watch my niece and nephew, my two oldest ones, they didn't even know my sexual orientation. I never had any men around them. The only thing they had around them was cookies, ice cream, candy, and video games, and they knew that their uncle was going to spoil them. I never brought their energy in any of this stuff. I didn't go on profiles talking about I'm protecting children from the grooming of the alphabet community. That really shines the spotlight on you because that's code for him saying that I'm really the groomer, that he's really the groomer. That's what he's really saying. Because people like him, with his mentality, with that underdeveloped frontal lobe, people like that, they are into harming children. That's what people are not telling you. And they let these people into the medical field. He claims he was a nurse, a male nurse at one time. They let people like that into the medical field. All of these so-called nice, upstanding people, but then behind the scenes, they're abusers, they're pedophiles. Just like that movie with the late, great Kirstie Alley, I think it was called, I can't think of the name of the movie. It was an old movie, and I think it was based on a true story. She played this woman who took in this woman and her daughter. Her name was, the role that Kirstie Alley played, it was Brenda Geck. Brenda Geck, I believe. And to the community, she was an upstanding citizen. But to the woman, to the woman and the child that she took in, she was abusive. She didn't feed them. And she made that girl's mother sleep in the basement. And the husband, Kirstie Alley's husband in the movie, her husband and her son in the movie, they were raping the woman and her daughter repeatedly. They wouldn't feed them. They treated them like they were servants. But to the community, she was an upstanding citizen. And that is what this man reminds me of. He reminds me of that. Why are you bringing your children onto an adult website, a dating website? I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about an adult dating website. Why are you bringing your children on there? Unless you are trying to traffic your own daughter, and that's code for you to let other pedophilic men like you know, hey, I have a daughter and I want to traffic her. Y'all think that shit don't go on? Y'all think they don't do that? But see, you have to understand the occultism in words. See, you motherfuckers can't hide too much from me. They don't call me Sia Grant for nothing. This is what they do. But I just wanted to talk about that part, about these men on these dating apps and sites and what they're really looking for. They say they're looking for a woman, but are they really looking for women, or are they really looking for men? Are they really looking for men? Because most of those weirdos, I block them when they come up in my inbox. Your profile says you're looking for women, but you're flooding my inbox. You're flooding my inbox, but you say you're looking for women. That's number one. Number two, are they looking for women, or are they looking for children? Because to me, if you're really looking for a woman, it really wouldn't be that hard to find, since women outrank men. I mean, not outrank women. There are more women by numbers per ratio or whatever. There are more women by numbers. So if you're really looking for a woman and you're a heterosexual man on that site, I'm talking about the men on that particular site. If you're really looking for a woman, then what's the fucking problem? Unless you're not really looking for a woman and you're looking for a child. And you're using that site to mask your pedophilic tendencies. Because when I go through some of those men's profiles, it's not just that white guy, not that white weirdo. It's not just him. And I'm calling him a white weirdo because he said something about a black person. So since he wants to make it about race, let's make it about race then, bitch. Let's get all dirty. Okay? He's sexually inept, and that's why he acts the way that he does. A lot of those men on that site are sexually inept, and they are not able to probably compete or probably please a real woman or even a real man. Because, honey, I'm a whole lot of motherfucking man, child, and it takes a certain type of man to be able to deal with me. I'm a whole lot of man. And it takes a real man to be able to deal with me and my emotions and my thoughts. And most of these motherfucking niggas can't deal with my motherfucking thoughts and emotions. Most of them can't deal with it. Most men cannot handle me. They can't handle what I'm about. They can't handle all of this. They can't handle all this energy. They can't handle it. That's why I don't connect with a lot of them. They can't handle it. There was only one man that I really connected with, and y'all know who that is. That was Christopher. That was Christopher. And that's because Christopher, he understood me. He understood me. And he was man enough, and he was a man, and he understood my needs. He understood my needs. Like if he did something to upset me, he knew how to not escalate that situation. And he was a Gemini, but he operated in Virgo and Sagittarius sometimes. Like if I was upset with him about something, I'd be like, well, Chris, you were supposed to call me. You didn't do X, Y, and Z. He didn't do all that. He would say, you know what? He would think about it and say, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong. He said, I should have picked up the phone. I should have called you and I should have told you X, Y, and Z. I'm so sorry. That's the type of man he was. They don't have a lot of men like that anymore. They don't make them like that anymore. I'm talking about in my world. I ain't talking about heterosexual people. I'm talking about in my world. So don't get it twisted. But a lot of those men on those apps, a lot of them, and not just the white ones, but the black ones too, they are sexually and emotionally inept. And that is why they will forever be single. And see, the thing too is this, and this video won't be that long. The thing too is this. A lot of these men, a lot of these men, and I guess you can say women too. You could put women in this category too, but I don't date women, so I can only speak on my experiences. So if I don't speak on women, it's not because I'm afraid to, and it's not because I'm being biased. It's because my experiences is mainly dealing with men. My experience with women is not the same as a heterosexual man. So I'm not going to have that same experience. So it's not that I'm being biased or I don't see the dysfunction in women. It's just that my experience and my expertise is with men. A lot of these men, and even them niggas over in that conscious community, I've noticed something about them too. They are very good at putting up masks. They talk about being a dark practitioner and being and working with dark magic. But what people don't understand about dark, well, there's an aspect of dark magic that people don't really understand. Dark magic is also about masking. And a lot of times, if you are a person of a certain frequency or a certain light frequency, and if your light shines a certain way, just like mine does, because I'm chosen, if you break down my name, it means chosen and some other things. Okay? I'm chosen by spirit. That's why I do what I do. Sometimes when you are of a certain light frequency and your light shines a certain way, it shines on places in the dark that a lot of these men are trying to hide. They try to hide certain things. See, that's why I fell out with those niggas over there. Well, I really didn't fall out with them because I never fell in with them motherfuckers. We never fell in. We were cordially friendly. But that's why I had to separate from them because my light was shining things on them or shining. I didn't even know it until Spirit showed me. My light was exposing and shining in those dark places that they were trying to keep hidden. So when you are a person like that and your light shines so bright, people will attack you. They will create problems with you when there aren't any. They will try to gaslight you. They will try to put you in a box and make you feel as though that you're less than. Because all along, they're trying to hide who they really are, but your light keeps shining on them and your light keeps exposing those dark places that they want to remain hidden. So what do? They'll stop speaking to you. They'll act like you did something wrong to them. They'll make up shit on you because anything, let me tell you something about me. If I said something about you, I'm going to tell you I said it. If you come to me and said, see, somebody told me you said X, Y, and Z, I'm going to think about it and say, you know what? I did say that. I did say that. And I meant it. And I'm going to tell you why I said it. And I'm going to go down the list with you why I said X, Y, and Z. You feel what I'm saying? So you won't have no motherfucking mistakes. There will be no room for no. Wait a minute. Look for something. There'll be no room for any misunderstanding. So when your light shines bright, they will come for you. When you got to shine, they will come for you. They will gaslight you. They will attack you. They will stalk you. They will do all of these things because they're zombies and they're hiding in darkness. They're not making use of the darkness. They're not in wisdom when it comes to darkness. They're not in wisdom. They're in their coward state. Because that's what they do. This is what they do. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Go take your vitamin B12. I just wanted to come on and talk about that right quick. You know, what's in the dark will always come into the light. It will always come into the light. What you think you're hiding, somebody like me and others that are like me, our light will shine on it. Even if we don't know it. That's why them conscious niggas had to get me the fuck away from them. And that's why I had to get the fuck away from them myself. Because I was shining light on their darkness. And when you are a person of light, people of darkness cannot remain around you for a long period of time without them trying to start shit with you or without them really understanding you. See, when things got real, that's when they had to get rid of me, or that's when we had to go our separate ways when things got real. Because you know, a lot of these motherfuckers are not real. So when I go back to those apps, a lot of those men are not real. They're fake. And they can't be around people of light. You have men on that website talking about how they are humble, how they are the nicest person in the world, how they are spiritual, right? Then when you read further down into their profile, their true nature comes out. If you're like this, I don't want you. If you look like this, I don't want you. If you ain't got this, I don't want you. They're talking about women now. If you are over 5'7", I don't want you. If you're in your 40s, I don't want you. If you fat, I don't want you. But they're humble and they're spiritual. And black men are so fucking dumb on that particular website. I'm not saying black men are dumb. I'm talking about them on that site. Those niggas on there are so fucking dumb that they don't even know how to keep up. They don't even know how to stay in character. They start off being really nice. Oh, I'm humble. I'm really nice. I'm really giving. Then you go down the profile and then they start going in on everything that they don't want. Anyway, I'm being distracted because some motherfucker's making some noise and I can't concentrate. So let me go. That's all I have to say.